Welcome back, everybody, to another deep dive.
It's good to be back.
This time we're diving into the story of Finn.
Yeah.
You know, the guy who basically said see ya to city life and went full-on forest hermit.
That's the one.
Now, we've got a ton of material on him.
We do.
Articles, journals, even some first-hand accounts from folks who knew him.
It's pretty remarkable what we were able to dig up.
So we're going to be exploring how he managed to not just survive,
Right.
but actually thrive out there.
Thrive and then some.
Yeah. And what his story can teach us about our own relationship with nature,
Exactly.
resilience,
Big time.
and even leadership.
Oh, yeah.
So ready to jump in.
Absolutely.
All right, so what struck me right off the bat
Yeah.
is that this wasn't some like romantic throw at Walden Pond kind of deal.
Oh, no, not at all.
Finn went in with basically nothing.
You could say that again?
I mean, he had to build his own shelter from scratch,
Rudimentary is putting it mildly.
figure out how to find food.
And that's where it gets really interesting. He taught himself to identify edible plants.
How? Like trial and error.
Well, he watched the animal.
Maybe watch the animal.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah,
He's watching what animals eat
right.
to figure out what's safe for him.
Exactly.
That seems a little risky, don't you think?
Oh, incredibly risky.
I mean, what if he got it wrong?
Oh, that's the thing, isn't it? It highlights this incredible balance he had to strike
Balance between what?
between observation and risk, you know?
Okay, yeah.
Because survival out there, it's a constant learning process.
Makes you think, could we even do that?
Do what?
Like, recognize edible plants in our own backyards, let alone the wilderness.
Right. It's like we've lost touch with these basic skills.
Completely.
Finn's experience forces us to confront that disconnect.
Totally. But you know what gets me? Is he didn't just survive.
Yeah,
He thrived out there.
that he did.
Like, the sources describe this incredible bond he developed with the forest animals.
Almost unbelievable, right? Seriously, birds singing around him,
Yeah.
deer coming right up to them.
Like a Disney movie.
I know. But then there's this one story that really got me
Oh, yeah?
about a winter storm.
Oh, that's a good one.
Brutal, right? Finn's huddled in his flimsy shelter, freezing,
Must have been terrifying.
and suddenly a pack of wolves shows up.
Wolves.
Yeah, wolves.
Wow.
Now, I thought wolves were supposed to be afraid of humans.
But we're told, right?
Yeah, big bad wolf and all that.
Right.
But these wolves, they surround him.
No way.
They protect him from the wind.
Amazing.
And get this, they even lead him to a hidden cave for warmth.
Seriously.
It's like completely flips the script on everything we think we know about wolves.
Totally.
Makes you wonder, what was Finn doing that made them trust him like that?
Right. It's mind-blowing.
So it's not just cute little birds bringing him acorns, it's wolves acting as guides and protectors.
Pretty incredible.
Makes you wonder if we could ever learn to communicate with animals on that level.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
So Finn wasn't just coexisting with these animals, he was actually helping them.
That's right.
The sources say he earned the title Guardian of the Forest.
Guardian of the forest.
Yeah, by rescuing injured animals and even standing up to hunters.
Wait, hunters?
Yeah, like poachers.
He confronted poachers.
Apparently, this peaceful, nature-loving dude was getting into showdowns with armed humans.
You kidding?
Nope, it's all there in the accounts.
Wow. That's incredible.
It shows how deeply he cared for the forest and its creatures.
Like, he saw himself as a part of this whole intricate web of life,
Exactly.
and he was willing to fight to protect it.
That's amazing, but let's be real.
Oh, yeah.
Most of us aren't going to be facing off against poachers anytime soon.
True.
So what can we learn from this part of Finn's story?
That's a good question.
I mean, it's inspiring, but also kind of daunting, right?
I think it challenges us to think about how we can be guardians in our own way.
Okay. How do you mean?
Maybe it's volunteering at an animal shelter,
Okay.
or supporting conservation efforts,
Right.
or even just being more mindful of our impact on the environment in our daily lives.
I like that.
It's about that sense of responsibility,
Yeah.
that understanding that our actions have consequences for the world around us.
I'm with you on that.
Finn's story just amplifies that message.
Totally. So we've got Finn building trust with the animals, protecting them. And then the sources describe this devastating drought hitting the forest.
Oh, yeah, that was rough.
Animals struggling to find water, plants withering.
The whole ecosystem was on the brink.
So what does Finn do?
Well, he starts bringing water from a distant river.
Bringing water himself.
Yeah, making sure all the animals had enough to drink.
That's incredible.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But then things get even wilder.
Wilder. How?
Remember that eagle Finn befriended?
The one that always hung around his cabin?
That's the one.
Yeah, what about it?
Well, during this crisis, the eagle appears,
Oh, okay.
and it seems to be urging Finn to follow.
Wait, hold on. An eagle is leading him somewhere.
That's what the sources say.
This is starting to sound less like real life and more like a myth.
I know, right? But it gets even better.
It does.
Finn trusts his gut and follows the eagle,
And
and it leads him to a hidden valley,
a hidden valley.
completely untouched by the drought.
No way.
A true sanctuary.
Okay, that is wild.
I know.
It's like something out of an ancient legend.
Absolutely.
But it also makes you wonder, was this pure luck?
Good question.
Or was there something deeper going on?
Like what?
Like, was there some kind of genuine communication between Finn and the eagle?
That's a question that has sparked a lot of debate.
I bet.
Some people dismiss it as coincidence,
Yeah, sure.
while others see it as evidence of this profound connection between Finn and the natural world.
A connection we can barely comprehend.
Exactly.
So we have Finn, the water bearer, now turned savior, guiding all these animals to the secret valley.
Pretty epic, right?
Totally, but this is just the beginning. There's so much more to unpack about Finn's leadership, his resilience, and his ultimate legacy.
Oh yeah, we're just getting started.
And we'll do just that right after the quick. Okay, so Finn is leading this whole caravan of animals to a secret valley.
It's a pretty powerful image.
But beyond the, wow factor,
Yeah.
what does this tell us about his leadership?
Well, it's interesting, isn't it?
What is?
He's not leading through force or dominance.
Sure.
It's more about trust and guidance.
Okay.
The animals follow him because they sense he has their best interests at heart.
I see what you mean.
He's earned their respect
Yeah.
through years of caring for them,
Right.
protecting them.
So it's less about barking orders and more about understanding the needs of the group,
Exactly.
anticipating threats and guiding them to safety.
And it makes you wonder,
What?
could that type of leadership work in our human world?
That's a good question.
Or are we just too different?
I mean, you're talking about animals, right? They're driven by instinct,
Sure.
but human societies are way more complex.
Oh, yeah.
We've got egos, conflicting desires.
Of course.
Can you really compare the two?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah, think about it.
Okay.
What if we applied some of these principles to our own communities, our workplaces?
Principles like
Like listening, empathy, understanding the interconnectedness of our actions? Could it lead to a more harmonious, collaborative environment?
Maybe. It's an interesting thought.
It is, isn't it?
But let's not get too carried away with human leadership just yet.
Okay.
We've got to get back to Finn.
Right.
Because the sources describe an even greater challenge he faced.
Oh, yeah.
A raging forest fire.
Whoa.
I mean, imagine that you're
Yeah.
in this idyllic sanctuary,
Right.
and suddenly the whole world is engulfed in flames.
That's terrifying.
The sources describe the animals panicked, confused,
It must have been chaos.
and Finn, amidst all this chaos,
Yeah.
he springs into action.
He doesn't just try to save himself. Wow.
He stays to help the animals.
That's incredible.
Incredibly brave, almost reckless.
It is.
And this is where his deep understanding of the forest really shines.
How so?
He knows the terrain,
Of course.
the animal's behavior,
Right.
and he even seems to understand the language of the forest itself.
Language of the forest.
Yeah, like the cries of birds,
Wow.
the rustling of leaves,
Using it to what?
to anticipate danger.
So he's not just reacting to the fire.
Right.
He's using his knowledge and intuition to guide the animals to safety.
There's this one account where he uses a pack of wolves to herd deer away from the flames.
Wolves herding deer.
It's like he's orchestrating this complex escape plan.
Incredible.
He's thinking several steps ahead.
Wow.
Utilizing the strengths of different animals, guiding them through the smoke and confusion.
Amazing.
He even helps a mother bear and her cubs navigate a treacherous path.
Okay, he's definitely earned that guardian title.
But it also raises an interesting question.
What's that?
Should he be intervening at all?
I see what you mean.
Isn't fire a natural part of the forest ecosystem?
That's a valid point.
It's a debate that's been raging for centuries.
It has.
What's the appropriate level of human intervention in nature?
Exactly.
On the one hand, we have a responsibility to protect vulnerable species.
Right.
But on the other hand, interfering with natural processes can have unintended consequences.
Definitely.
So is Finn doing the right thing,
It's a tough call.
or is he disrupting the natural order?
There are no easy answers.
That's for sure.
And that's the beauty of Finn's story.
Oh.
It forces us to grapple with these complex ethical dilemmas.
Okay, yeah.
to think critically about our relationship with nature
Right.
and the role we play in its delicate balance.
It's heavy stuff.
It is.
Maybe we should lighten the mood for a sec.
Sure.
You know what always strikes me about this story?
What's that?
How much fun Finn seems to be having.
For fun.
Yeah, like, yeah, it's hard work.
Of course.
But there's this sense of joy,
Oh, yeah.
of connection that just permeates the sources.
I see what you mean.
Like, there's this story about him teaching a young fox to catch fish.
Oh, that's cute.
And it's not just survival training.
No.
They're playing, laughing.
That's awesome.
It reminds us that connecting with nature can be pure joy, pure wonder.
Absolutely.
Okay, back to the fire.
All right.
The forest is devastated, right?
Pretty much.
It's not exactly a happy ending.
Not yet.
So what happens next?
Well, that's where the story takes another unexpected turn.
What do you mean?
Finn and the animals, they don't just give up.
Okay.
They work together to restore their home.
Hold on, they're actually rebuilding the forest.
That's right.
How is that even possible?
The sources describe birds bringing seeds from faraway lands,
Okay.
squirrels burying nuts, new life sprouting from the charred ground.
Wow.
It's a testament to the resilience of nature.
And to the power of collaboration.
Exactly.
So even after this devastating fire, there's hope, there's renewal.
There is.
But what about Finn? Where does his story go from here? We left off with Finn and all the animals rebuilding the forest after that fire.
Yeah, it's a powerful image.
Really makes you think about resilience and all that.
It does.
But it also makes you wonder, how long can someone keep up that kind of lifestyle?
Right.
I mean, doesn't nature eventually,
Take its course.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you're right. This isn't some superhero story.
Right.
Finn's human. He ages.
Of course.
And the sources do describe him getting older.
Okay.
But even as his physical strength starts to fade,
Yeah.
his connection to the forest, it just seems to deepen.
Interesting.
He becomes this wise, almost mythical figure,
I like that.
sharing his knowledge with the younger generations of animals.
So it's like he's transitioning from active guardian to like a mentor,
Exactly.
a teacher passing on his wisdom.
Ensuring the forest future.
Beautiful, but also kind of bittersweet, don't you think?
Absolutely.
And the sources described his eventual passing as peaceful.
Yeah, very much so.
He dies under his favorite oak tree.
Surrounded by the animals he loved and protected.
Okay, gotta admit, that part got me a little choked up.
I get it.
But there's more to the story, right?
There is.
What about that sapling we discussed earlier?
Yes, the sapling.
This is where the story goes from real life to like full-on myth.
You could say that.
A sapling starts growing right where Finn was laid to rest.
Imagine that.
Almost like the forest itself is honoring him.
It's a powerful image.
Hold on, so it's not just that some random seed landed there.
Whoa.
The sources make it sound like it was intentional.
Many people interpret it that way.
It's like a symbol of his legacy.
Right. His interconnectedness with the forest.
And the animals, they keep gathering around that spot.
Like they can sense his presence in the growing tree.
I'll admit, when we started this whole deep dive,
Yeah.
I was a little skeptical about Finn's story,
Oh, yeah.
Sounded a little too good to be true.
Yeah.
But the more we uncover, the more it just,
Resonates.
yeah, it resonates with something deep inside.
That longing for connection.
Exactly.
For harmony with nature.
Do you ever feel that?
I think it's a universal human experience.
You think so?
We evolved in nature. We're part of it.
That's true.
Finn's story just brings that connection into focus.
It does.
Makes us look at our own relationship with the natural world.
It's like we spend so much time trying to control nature.
To bend it to our will.
Exactly. But Finn shows us a different way.
A path of respect.
Understanding.
Even reverence.
It's humbling.
It really is.
It makes you think, what would our world look like if we all saw ourselves not as masters of nature,
But as part of it.
part of this complex web of life?
Exactly.
Big questions for the end of the episode.
Uh-huh.
But before we wrap up,
Yeah.
I want to go back to that question of communicating with animals.
Okay.
If you could ask them one thing
Yeah.
about their experience of the world,
Mm-hmm.
what would it be?
That's a tough one.
I know, right?
I think I'd ask them what brings them joy.
Yeah.
What do they value most in their lives?
Interesting.
Maybe by understanding their sources of happiness,
Yeah,
we can learn something about finding our own.
I love that.
Because we tend to project our own ideas onto animals.
We do.
We assume it's all about survival and competition.
Right, the whole survival of the fittest thing.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
maybe there's something more.
Something deeper.
Something we can learn from.
Absolutely. And maybe,
Yeah.
just maybe,
Yeah,
by understanding their perspective,
right.
we can develop a deeper appreciation for all living things.
Okay.
And maybe that understanding can guide us toward
Oh,
a more,
sustainable
yes,
and
sustainable, harmonious future.
Beautifully put.
Thank you.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Finn's extraordinary life,
Yeah?
I encourage all of you listening to think about your own relationship with nature.
It's worth reflecting on.
What can we learn from Finn's journey? What steps, even small ones,
Right?
can we take to foster a deeper connection with the natural world?
That's the question, isn't it?
It is.
Keep exploring.
Keep questioning.
And keep diving deep.
Until next time.